County High School active shooter. People down, one unresponsive.
A 15-year-old male student walked into the school with a pistol in his hand, immediately opened fire.
Chaos at a Kentucky high school. A teenage gunman opens fire as school is about to start. 2 have been killed. Another 3 are in critical condition. More than a dozen others hurt. This morning, we're learning more about what happened and the possible suspect in this tragic situation. Our team is bringing you complete team coverage of this breaking story here this morning. Casey Cunningham live in Marshall County right now with what we know, and Kayla Van Meter has more on how local schools prepare for a tragic situation like this.
Expect more right now. You're watching Wave 3 News.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm Lauren Jones.
I'm John Bull. Before we get to the big story in Marshall County, check it out, the bottom of your screen here. We've got some delays already this morning.
Yeah, Jennings County on a 2-hour delay, a handful of others just now coming in. Brian Good, we've been talking about it the last few days. We saw those snowflakes overnight, some slick conditions because of freezing drizzle as well. So what's the latest?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be taking much to cause some slick concerns there. Of course, you mentioned that Jennings County, Owen County added to the list too for some delays today, Brownstown. So it's mainly north and northeast where we've had some of the reports of slick roads and mainly just wet roads for the rest of our counties here. And now the radar is down at Fort Knox, so I'm not able to show you where the freezing drizzle and or snow is falling right now, but you get a general idea when I loop it over the past couple of hours that it's generally just about every county. It's just very, very light is the point. Even Tom Williams down into E-Town took a picture of the snow that coated his truck outside. So this is the common scene that we're witnessing now in our area. If it's not a glaze from the freezing drizzle, it's going to be a light covering of snowfall, and in some cases it could be both. So the scraper is going to be needed this morning. And just be careful with that glaze. Walking to the car, more an issue of trying to get the car open, I think, than anything. But overall, some light glaze on the cars and some snowfall. But the main roads so far coming in mainly wet, except for Northern County. Some slick spots have been reported. We'll keep this mix of the freezing drizzle and snow showers to about mid-morning. And then it should be all snowflakes that are flying because the atmosphere is going to get colder as the day goes on. And the actual numbers not really warming much at all, but at least will be above freezing. That's a plus. On the traffic side, no issues to report. We'll keep an eye on both sides of the river as we continue to see this light drizzle and snowfall. But here's the good news. All the sensors coming in above freezing on the road temperature sensors on most of the main thoroughways there, which is some good news, all right? And the roads here look like they're mainly wet on a lot of the cameras here from TriMark. We'll monitor that. Another full update coming up here in just a few minutes.
Now back to our top story this morning, a mass shooting at a Kentucky high school. 2 students killed, their classmate expected to be charged with murder.
14 other students were shot this morning. 3 are in critical condition. Police have the suspected gunman in custody, but so far no motive's been released. The shooting happened just before 8 yesterday morning at Marshall County High, before classes had started. 15-year-old Bailey Holt died at the scene. 15-year-old Preston Cope pronounced dead later at the hospital. Police haven't released the name of the suspected shooter. We do know he is a 15-year-old student. The Associated Press snapped this photo of a person being led away from the school in handcuffs. Check it out. The police have not said that that's the gunman. This suspect is expected to be charged with murder and attempted murder. Police aren't sure if he'll be charged as an adult or a juvenile.
Well, for the students and teachers inside the school at the time of the shooting, it was pure horror. 4 people were hurt trying to escape as the gunman opened fire. Here's video showing the chaos of students were trying to flee the scene here. A 15-year-old girl died at the school. 5 were then flown to the closest level 1 trauma unit there in Benton's, where that shooting took place. That hospital in Nashville, some 120 miles away. A 15-year-old boy died at the hospital there. 3 people still in critical condition this morning. This horrific situation unfolded just before school started around 8 yesterday morning.
I was standing there with my friends and I heard like 2 shots, and I turned around and behind me I see like this big figure of a person, and I just see like fire coming from a gun.
Isabella Hoytstrat says students started screaming and running, trying to get away. She went to the weight room where a teacher stood by the door.
One of our first troopers to arrive on the scene saw the young lady that died there on the scene and thought it was his daughter, because she had been dropped off at the school this morning as well. Same clothing description, same description. And he had to go over to convince himself that that was not his daughter.
Oh, the school has nearly 1,150 students. It's a small farming town. The school will be closed for the next several days while police process the crime scene.
Well, numerous vigils held all across Benton and Marshall County. Wave 3 News reporter Casey Cunningham is live at the school this morning with more on the effect this is having on the people there.
Good morning, John, Lauren. Yeah, Benton, a small town, only about 5,000 people that live here. So everyone we've talked to, everyone we've run into is really touched by this, knows someone inside the school or is even related to some of the victims. The school, of course, canceled today here in Marshall County. You can see this is the high school, one of the entrances of the high school behind us, and police lights flashing, still very much an active crime scene. Services held across the county last night, vigils, fundraisers through the night and again today. People visited services and vigils like this one at First Christian Church, looking for ways to comfort and find comfort and strength through this entire ordeal. Most people here, of course, know someone or some family members with a connection to the school, and they're shaking. They tell us they're grieving.
We had children and youth that were there and teachers there, and lots of people are grieving. And as a community, we need healing.
Through all of this storm and chaos
The school superintendent released a statement expressing his gratitude for the courage of teachers and first responders. He released a statement earlier yesterday saying, hold on to your children close tonight as you gather together at churches, vigils, homes, and please bear with us as we struggle to return to a sense of normalcy. We will continue our coverage out here in Marshall County as we hear more from the victims, from family members, and from people out here in Marshall County. Reporting live, Casey Cunningham, back to you.
All right, Casey, we'll check back with you soon. We want to continue our team coverage here this morning with Wave 3 News reporter Kayla Van Meter. She has much more on JCPS and how they are responding this morning.
Yeah, on behalf of JCPS, the interim superintendent Marty Pollio, reaching out to the superintendent in Marshall County, not only offering condolences, but saying, hey, here's my personal cell phone number. If there's anything you need, any resources within JCPS, they're at your disposal. It was just last night that JCPS held a school board meeting and a moment of silence as well for the victims in Marshall County. With JCPS being such a large district, Pollio says there's a lot to offer in terms of grief counselors and other resources, and he wants them to know they are welcome to use it all. Pollio spoke with the Marshall County superintendent yesterday.
Most important was to send our support to them and let them know we're thinking about them. We're all educators, and we, are essentially all in the same family, working to do the same thing. And so it breaks our heart, just like it does educators all across the state.
In the wake of yesterday's shooting, Pollio reminding JCPS principals to review their policies and procedures, but he doesn't anticipate any changes in security moving forward. Coming up in the next half hour, hear from KSP about how practices and procedures are given to students, training is held within schools, and hear how it specifically impacted Marshall County. For now, reporting live at the Van Hoos Education Center, Kayla Van Meter, Wave 3 News.
And we will have much more coverage ahead on this breaking story. And right now on the Wave 3 News app, you can read more of the comments from Governor Matt Bevin, who went to Marshall County yesterday, plus political reaction from across Kentucky and the nation.
All right, 8 after the hour. Here's the latest for the kids heading out to the bus stop. Be careful walking outside. There may be some icy patches on the sidewalk, even walking to the bus stop, as we have some areas of freezing, drizzle, and some light snow that is coating the ground in some cases. We'll have the flurries fly throughout most of the day, but we'll get above freezing as the day wears on. If you're tired of this cold stuff, though, you're going to like tomorrow's forecast. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Students back in school this week after snow days last week. Now, new legislation could mean kids don't quite get off school when conditions get bad.
In the courtroom today, the parents accused of torturing their 13 kids. What prosecutors are pushing for to keep these kids separated from the parents.